a step in the right direction.
Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to another Gen Z Reviews. It's a real pleasure to be on with my buddy Luke here yet again. And today we are talking about another American classic taking place in a cornfield, just like Signs last week. This is very different than Signs, though. My gosh, Kevin Costner, he always delivers, right? I mean, watching this again today, I was just reminded of why he is like one of those American icons. You look at him and you see him in a movie like this, and you just can't help but to be inspired. And it was a real pleasure watching again. I've only seen it once before. Luke, this was your first time. And I believe everyone else in the panel has been pretty seasoned to this movie. So let's not waste any time. Let's introduce our panel. We really appreciate everybody joining us. Lots of our old friends and new. Wilkie here, World War Joe, old friends. And now we're joined by a new friend of Wilkie as well, Ashley, Zombie Girl. How we doing, everybody? Good to see you.
Great.
Good.
How's it going, everyone?
Doing good.
Doing good. Did anybody shed any tears tonight watching this great film?
A little bit.
Oh, good. Good for you, Joe. Not you, Ashley. No tears.
No, I mean it's a nice movie, but it didn't get me teary-eyed.
Oh, man. That's disappointing. I was hoping somebody would cry. Wilkie, did you cry?
No, I didn't cry, but this is one of those, we don't get too many movies that are both filmed in Iowa and the movie itself, the story is set in Iowa. So you got to take a little pride in that because we don't get that very often. So,
and you are from Iowa.
I am
right?
from Iowa.
Yes.
So just like this movie happening in the cornfield, I'm happening in the cornfield right now too. They're all around me right now. So
nice.
Yep.
Wow, you're one with the film.
One
Respect.
Yep.
Wait, how far? Because the field, it still like exists, right? Like you could visit it.
Yeah, it's changed quite a bit over the years because there was actually what was funny or not funny is when they filmed that and they created the field, the infield and the outfield crossed over two different families' farms, and then there was a little bit of a legal battle after that when things were happening. But now they've developed it some more, and they've actually brought some Major League Baseball teams in there to do exhibition games. So they've had a couple,
cool.
like the Cubs have been out there, the White Sox have been out there, and they're kind of trying to build it up a little bit. There's a couple big leaguers that are putting some money into it and trying to make it an attraction, kind of like, where they have the NHL has like the outdoor, game every year somewhere, and they're trying to make it something like that where it's at the Field of Dreams, build it up a little bit, and I think Frank Thomas, a former Chicago White Sox player, him and some other backers, they're trying to develop it a little bit. But yeah, there've been some major league games out there, and the couple that they've had so far have been big hits. The tickets were going for more than I wanted to pay, so I sat back and just listened to people.
How much
about
we
it.
talking?
I can't even remember, but if you get into like hundreds of dollars for a ticket, I at that point I'm kind of like, meh.
It probably kind of ruins it if they have like tons of bleachers, because watching it again today, because I've only seen it once and I saw it again today. There's only like one little set of bleachers.
No, it's different now. It's not gigantic, but it's different now. Because they got to sell some seats.
Yeah. Oh no, it makes sense. But I feel like adding all those bleachers just takes away from it. It was just that one little private space.
Yep.
But respect. Finally, they're doing something with a title, right? I was just in. Not just in, but last December, I had the blessing of visiting New Zealand. And of course, That's where they filmed all of Lord of the Rings. I mean, the entire country utterly embraces it, right? I don't know why they don't invest a ton of money into really going all in. Create a Helm's Deep, create Minas Tirith, or at least try, make a miniature version, make the whole country into a Lord of the Rings world. I can't even imagine. It would be the #1 vacation destination. So here we are with Field of Dreams. Respect to them for doing something with it, for Pete's sakes, because there's opportunity, and there it is. And, you probably know that there's probably not too many other tourist attractions there, right?
What are you trying to say? Come on,
Am I
man.
wrong?
You don't
Tell
need
me
to.
I'm wrong, because I'd love to know. I need another reason to visit Iowa other than to see Wilkie and to
I was
see
gonna
the
say,
field.
come on.
There's the two big reasons. Wilkie's number one.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that should rank too high for you on that, but yeah, I mean, yeah, we always joke we're kind of one of those what they call the flyover states, right?
Oh.
You're flying over to go to the other state that you want to go to, but
Yeah.
no, it was a really big deal when they were filming that movie. I remember that quite a bit, and remember going to see this in the theater when it came out. And there may or may not have been a few quotes from the movie that ended up on bumper stickers around Iowa because it was a pretty big deal. Maybe we'll get into that later.
Ooh, cool. Yeah, I'm excited to hear more of your story. And Ashley, you're from Utah, is that right?
Well, technically, I'm from California, but
Okay.
I moved
thought I
to
saw
Utah
Utah
3 years
somewhere. Okay.
I moved
when I
here
think of
3 years ago.
is it kind of like Iowa where it's all cornfields, or am I tripping?
No,
Oh, I'm way off. See, I thought they were just alike.
No.
no, very different.
Oh, Brawler,
Okay,
bless your heart.
Dang it. You know, you get to laugh at me this time. I'll laugh at you about something else later. I promise you that.
I'm sure there's going to be plenty opportunities to laugh at me, but that reminds me of like so many times I'm talking to people across the country and they're like, "Oh, Iowa, the place where they grow all the potatoes," and I'm like, "No, that'd be Idaho.
Yeah, right.
We're
Exactly.
the corn. We're the corn." So
Nice.
Anyway.
well,
That's
let's say
funny.
hi to everybody in chat real quick. Thank you all for joining. Real pleasure. Our friend Proctorfile is here. Good evening, boys. Hey, Ashley's here too. Proctorfile, come on. How are we
That's
doing
okay.
tonight? We're doing great. We're doing great, Proctorfile. Thanks for joining us. Keeping our chat safe. Rebel Rose is here too. Hi, guys and gals. Hello. She referred to you, Ashley. Good for you, Rebel. Good seeing you. We already got a $2 super chat from our friend Boica. Starting off strong. Appreciate it, buddy. Because baseball isn't the American sport anymore. Oh, well, that's sad.
What would it be?
Yeah.
Football.
I guess?
Football?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Football probably brings in the most money, but whether you consider that America's sport or not, but that's probably the biggest draw. But I grew up looking at like the papers with my grandma, looking at the scores of games and stuff. So she got me. I always said I didn't know if I was supposed to thank her or be mad at her. She got me following the Chicago Cubs, and there was many years of heartbreak. With that, so
Dang. Poor bastard.
we always joke about that.
I respect baseball. You know, I think like when you think of Field of Dreams, like it's obviously, you know, it's touted. It's obviously everything's about baseball, right? Like most of the dialogue kind of contains baseball. You see a lot of baseball. There's a lot of stories about baseball, but it's not a baseball movie. And I really respect that because I like baseball. I don't follow it at all. I'll, go watch a local game in the spring and summer and the fall, but I don't, it's definitely not my thing. But this movie, it's just so much more than that. Yet it embraces it in a light that's like understandable. I don't think it's like too deep for somebody surface level to explore. So I respected that about the movie because I think originally I was a little worried that this was a baseball movie. You know, there's like so many classic examples of like football movies, and I could never get into those because I don't care much about football. But yeah, I like that this one, it's way more surface. It's way more enjoyable, more of a, I kind of consider it like a sports fantasy, which I think is so funny. I don't think there's like anything else like it because of what they're able to do with, flash, like going back in time, having these ghost people. It's so unique.
Spoiler alert.
Oh,
I'm joking.
Spoilers,
I'm joking.
spoilers, everybody. We're doing spoilers here.
I'm joking. But I will say, whether you like the movie or not, that could be a whole other thing. But I think this is a movie that a non-sports person still could enjoy and love. It's not just totally. It uses it for a connection for a lot of themes throughout the movie, but it's not the sole purpose of the entire movie, I'd say. But.
And that's respectable too. I like Proctorfile. Come on. He says, I like baseball. I just don't watch it ever. Brawlers 2026.
Called you out already.
Come on, man.
Nice.
I still do. Hey, I'll go to games in person, Proctorfile. Are you going to those baseball diamonds and spending money? I don't think so. Prove me wrong, Proctorfile. Prove me wrong. Gosh. But let's talk about the story a little bit. For people that aren't familiar with the movie, this is one of those films that's definitely just a high recommend. I mean, if you like Kevin Costner, I don't think there's a film of his that's above this one. I think this is the top of his grade. I know I'm a big Wyatt Earp fan, despite all the hate it gets. I love Wyatt Earp. I still think it's decent, despite all the hate. I'm pushing out the haters. That's a great film. Field of Dreams is definitely.
Who hates Wyatt
Oh
Earp?
man, I hear people trash it all the time. Hey, everybody trash Signs all the time.
I was
You
gonna say,
never
it's like-
know, man.
It's like last week. People don't like Signs, and now people aren't
Yep.
like Wyatt Earp.
They don't like Wyatt Earp. They think Tombstone is way superior to Wyatt Earp. And yeah, it's definitely strange. But, you know, the story with this one is it's very interesting. Like we've been talking about here, it's not a typical sports film. You know, we follow Kevin Costner, who's an Iowan farmer, and he risks everything he has. I mean, he risks the field, he risks his home, his family's living, all for this dream. And I wouldn't exactly call it a dream. It's sort of I don't know. It's a distant message that he gets while he's outside. If you build it, he will come. You know, the classic line, right? That still whispers through and echoes through the halls today. And it encourages him to go out of his way to make a baseball diamond, a field in his cornfield. He tears it all down, at least a sizable portion of it. And a lot of strange things start to happen. He kind of wonders what this message means at first, and you know, he comes up with the conclusion to destroy part of his crops to create this field. It's a huge investment, for Pete's sakes. I still don't know how he was able to do that like on his own. I mean, we watch him prepare this field, build the bleachers, install those lights. I was thinking when they were going through the montage of Kevin Costner setting up those big lights, how he was able to route electricity to them, and also the cost of having those lights on. I can't imagine how expensive that is, because I know our local ballpark in my area, they have them on at all times, and I know it costs a fortune to run them. So I was wondering like what the cost associated with this program would be for them. But nevertheless, he's kind of like wondering why he has this calling. It's this strange message that he's received out of the thin air. And all of a sudden, when he's kind of losing hope, he sees a man in the field, Ray Liotta, Shoeless Joe Jackson. And, you know, we're kind of set to believe that there's a grand purpose to this field. Like, what's the point of this? And there's a series of messages that follow throughout the movie that lead him closer and closer to figuring out what that is. And the whole time it harkens back to a deeper issue he's had with his family all along. So it's a very touching story. Absolutely a recommended title to watch. And I think there's a lot to break down here. I'm excited that we're all here to talk about this, because there's so many strange moments that I think could definitely use a bit of explanation, especially from somebody that isn't super familiar with the movie myself. But before we start getting into the nitty-gritty, I was kind of wondering, just on a surface level, considering this as an American classic, because I think, you know, when you think of the like top 20 American classics, there's no way Field of Dreams doesn't pop up in there. So I'm kind of wondering, what do you guys consider to be the indefinable quality that makes this an American classic?
Ooh,
Baseball.
Yeah, I was about to say baseball. Cornfields. There you go. That too.
No, I'd also say, you know, baseball definitely, whether it still is today, it was for the longest time like one of the biggest, you know, the American sport that was going on. But I think this movie has a lot of great themes throughout it where, I mean, who hasn't had struggles with family or close relationships that they've had, and working through some of those and maybe finding a little redemption at the end of it. So there's a lot of good stories of multiple people within this coming to terms with some things of their past and where things are going, and finding peace with it. And there's like a couple different storylines kind of going throughout that, not to go into it right now, but multiple characters and storylines kind of reflecting that same theme. Like where did things go right or wrong in the past? Where are they at now? And, you know, how can I come to peace with it and move forward?
Yeah, I think like reconciliation is such a strong value too to follow, right? And this movie does such a great job showing that in a variety of ways. You know, I mean, we see, you know, we get so many different examples that we're going to go through today, you know, piece by piece, chapter by chapter throughout the movie, that sort of tout reconciliation, the importance of reconciling with your past and the mistakes you've made. So yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. And actually, you're right. I think just looking at cornfields, there's something about it where it's like, we're in America. You know what I mean? This is an American tale. Cornfields, lush cornfields, beyond what the eye can see. I don't know. I think it's also, following, Kevin Costner, when you look at him, he's just like, he's an American hero. Like, that's one of those actors where he has that just sort of undescribable like charm that just feels so American and real. And when I think of actors that are like that, I think of Mel Gibson, I think of Kevin Costner, I think of Kurt Russell. Those are like the big ones. Not too many more. I guess Sam Elliott, I'd say he's another one of those, but there's not too many that really stand out like he does. And especially in here, I mean, Dances with Wolves, of course, is another one of those that we've got to talk about at some point. But I think also just seeing how grounded the story is, despite it being so fantastical and out of this world, because it definitely is, it's also so grounded in family and the importance of family and, heaven is on earth all along. I think it's sort of it's an American message, to live by, that, everything that you really need in life is right here, and you don't even notice it because you're distracted by other mundane trials and tribulations of life, right? So I definitely think that rings true. Those are kind of the pillars of the American story, I think. But yeah, I think Kevin Costner especially, there's just something about him where it's like, you watch him and he has this charm that just feels like an American hero that we definitely need today. Boy, oh boy, do we need that new generation of American hero, because I don't think there's anybody that really stands out as like a young man or a young woman that is like the American play. Can you think of any?
Sadly, Austin Butler is probably going to be this guy in the
come
remake.
on. No way.
No, I think
He's got the hair.
Eventually, yeah.
He's
The
got the
hair.
hair, I think.
Are we that? Wow, we're really drawing.
Shall I mention Chalamet?
Oh, these aren't like
Yeah.
American characters,
All
though. Like
jokes,
the
all jokes.
American, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, who could that
No.
be? Josh Brolin, but he's old.
He's too old.
I don't think
So-
there's. I think it's fair to say there is not a single
over, yeah.
actor today that can capture what Kevin Costner is. Probably. I'm just thinking like his string of movies compare. I mean, it's Charlemagne's probably the next dude that they're trying to prop up as best they can, but I don't think at the end of the day his movies are going to be anywhere near the impact of Costner's movie. Because with this movie, I would say there's 3 movies in my life that after I've seen it, I immediately call my dad. This one, John Q and Big Fish.
Man.
And I've never felt any emotion watching a Charlemagne or anything like that.
Charlemagne. Nice. That's good. Well, I don't know what any of those other ones. John Q and Big Fish.
Oh, we
Big
should.
Fish is great.
Whoa.
Yeah, John Q was an emotional one.
Both worth watching. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Telling you, as soon as the credits roll, it's like I'm gonna give my dad a call. Not even talk about the movie, just say how it's going. That's how I felt at the end of Field of Dreams. Just 2 guys, father and son, just hanging out.
Yeah. I love that. And I think like another point I meant to mention, like considering this as an American classic, it's like we're so lucky that we're able to do a lot of what we're able to do here. I mean, if you have ambition, you can make anything happen. And that's what he does here. And he has so many obstacles in his way, and it's totally ridiculous. But his like unceasing will to follow this dream and to see it through, despite all of the financial burdens back home and the drama of the uncertainty of what's ahead of him, is really, I think it's so relatable. I think I think we get that, or at least I've gotten the itch before, where there's something I really want to do and I follow through with it. And, at the end of the day, you don't know what you're doing. I think 9 times out of 10, when you are called to do something, you learn along the way, right? And that's what he does here. And that's like a concept that, of course, is missing. But I don't even really think of it much in other titles. I think it does. This movie does such a great well at building this up and giving us such a realistic example of a man who's like a fish out of water, trying to figure out how this is going to work. So
Well, yeah, it's the leap of faith.
Mhm.
It's the no matter how much people ridicule you, make fun of you, like obstacles are thrown in your face the entire time, you have that faith, whatever blind faith you want to say, but you're taking that leap. And maybe, yeah, like you said, that's probably another reason people get drawn to it. Because how many times do you have that dream that people are like, oh, you can't do that, you know, or whatever. You get it shot down, but he keeps on persevering through that. But I will say the picture you had up earlier, before I forget, I love Amy Madigan in this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I absolutely love her character in this. She's kind of like the wild hippie wife, you know, that is now an Iowa farmer with her husband. But I absolutely love, she's very quirky in this, but her support she gives to him in this as well, you know, but they both have doubts at different times, but I think that's a good play. Off the two of them, opposites coming together and, both having doubts through different things, but then coming together and supporting each other in their relationship. So
you're so right.
But I love her character in this. I wanted to say that before it was done. So before I forgot.
No, that's good.
She's hilarious, I think, in this.
Well, you know, you make such a great point, Wilkie, that something I was worried about watching this, because it's been a little while since I've seen it. I like half watched it years ago. So I'm glad I got to like actually sit down and give it the time it deserves. I was worried that we were going to have the common example of the family at home being disapproving, you know, kind of putting him down for this ridiculous belief. They didn't do that. They didn't really do that at all, even though it was like totally ridiculous. Even in the beginning, you know, she was pretty supportive, and the daughter too. So that was a real breath of fresh air.
But I think any of the doubts that she had were realistic. Like you could relate to them, where, you know, they're getting to the point where he's plowing up their profits for this field. And she's sitting there at the table with all these bills. And she's like, you know, what are we going to do? You know, so I think all the doubts were not far fetched. I mean, there were ones that you could sit there and be like, no, I can understand that, you know, you're like, we got to pay the heat, the light, the water, whatever. And you just plowed up a bunch of our profits, you know, out there, and they have those discussions. But I just think it's very relatable and not crazy, far-fetched doubts. But.
Yeah, I guess that's what makes them respectable too. Yeah,
I don't really think that she had that many doubts. So if you really watch it, it was mainly her family was just like, they were the ones that were just like in her ear. But she of course had them, and then especially when he had the dream about going to the Red Sox game to meet a certain person.
But I love that part.
And then she was like describing it, and she was, wait, we had the same one.
I had that.
It was like she was doubting in that moment, and then they just got like right on the same level.
Well, but then, isn't she like, I'll help you pack?
Yes, she's like,
That
was great.
I love that part. I forgot that. Yeah. But she was like kind of shutting them down, and then that was a funny connection there.
Well, I don't know. To me, like movies, like I would say early 2000s back, when you had like a married couple, they were very much on the same team. So that's why I think that when you said that, you know, it was refreshing to see that, it's like, if you watch like older movies, most of the time you do have those married couples that are just like, they're in it together. They don't, you have this wild dream of making a baseball field in our crops. All right, let's do it.
Yeah, that's respectable. I think we're starting to get back to form with that a little bit now, but that's just sad that you have to like worry about that. You know, just take me back, Wilkie, take me back to 1989, please. Be great. Take us back to that time when you watched this in theaters for the first time.
No, actually, the first time they put it on, it was with fire, and they did shadow figures up against the wall. Before film was invented.
Yeah. And you were about 40 then?
Yeah, I was 35.
35.
She's probably
just like keep on poke. No, I do remember going to see this, but it was such a build up for it too, because like I said, it was a big deal that it was in Iowa, and that not only filmed a lot of it in Iowa, that there was it was based in Iowa in the movie, and there's references to Iowa in the movie, and we just don't get to see that very often. You know, I know if you live in like LA or New York, they pop up in every other film, the cities or other big cities around. But that was a really big deal to go see that, and a big name like Kevin Costner and James Earl Jones, like some of them, Ray Liotta,
So good.
Amy Madigan, all of them being in that. It was a pretty big deal. So I remember it was hyped up a lot, at least in Iowa, in our area, to go see that. And I saw it a couple times in the theater and enjoyed it. But that was also before streaming and stuff. Remember, I'm really old.
Streaming's not that new.
But it's not that old either. I'll just say that. It's not that old either. At that time, though, I mean, if you didn't see it in the theater before it went out, it could be 6 months to a year before you could rent it, like legitimately before it would be out on a VHS tape to be able to rent. There wasn't the streaming. So it landed, I think that's what helped theaters out a lot more at that time, was if you really liked a movie, you're going to go out and see it again. And they'd get multiple views from people in the theater. And that one definitely, at least in our area, it was bringing people back in more than once. So.
Man, that's cool.
Wait, Corey, do you remember when McDonald's had those VHSs that you could buy? And this was one of them. And they have the McDonald's logo.
Whoa, that's weird.
No.
Okay. Well,
I missed that.
This movie is like a month and a little bit older than me. So
Nice. Let's
kinda,
do the math.
It's okay.
As I was entering high school.
Calculator up.
It's okay. But at least I remember the VHS era, okay? But yeah, I remember you could get this movie, Back to the Future, Addams Family, and then there was one other VHS.
Oh, nice.
And they have the McDonald's arch in the back of them.
Nice.
But yeah, I was always just like, Field of Dreams is so random, but okay.
That's definitely random.
I missed out on those.
That's
Oh, man.
They should do that with Blu-rays and 4Ks. That'd be nice.
That'd be great.
Included with a Happy Meal.
You
That'd be
will have
great.
10 streaming services and like it.
Ugh.
That's how it is. No more Blu-ray releases.
No.
That's it.
No.
It's
I
more
couldn't
like
even
we'll have 30 streaming services
Oh,
because everything will be
gosh.
spread across all of them.
This isn't even on streaming right now. I tried to find it. You have to buy it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
own it. I own
Yeah,
it.
I own it too,
You own
thankfully.
1,000 movies back there. Of course you have it.
Not 1,000. Well, maybe, but
Getting there.
it's
That's
somewhere
good.
around here.
It's somewhere in there. Let's see. Our friend Boca gave us some more super chats. We appreciate it, Boca. 462 for 499. Oh,
There we go.
and also look at that beautiful 4K copy of Field of
Oh.
Dreams. Oh man, makes my mouth water. That looks good. I love a 4K copy, man. All right, while he's looking for something else.
No, keep
Boca
talking,
says,
keep talking.
Utah is nothing but a church being thrown up at every corner faster than a 7-Eleven in every other city. And I've lived here since 2011. Oh, wow, Utah, man. Look at that. Boca's in Utah.
Heck yeah,
Ashley and
dude.
Boca. There you go. You can be
I
best
have a
friends.
feeling he's in northern Utah, though. So I'm in
Okay.
southern. But at the same time, he's not wrong.
You guys can meet halfway for
There you go.
a friendly coffee. There you go. Boom.
So my sidetrack for the night, my other Kevin Costner baseball movie, For Love of the Game.
Oh.
Yes, that's a Sam Raimi movie.
Yes,
too.
it is.
Oh yeah.
A very different Sam Raimi
Yes,
movie,
it
but
is.
a very good one. I enjoyed that one. So anyway,
Respect.
I'll stop.
Respect. Thank you, Boca, for the super chat. I don't know anything about Utah, so it sounds like that's like northern Utah then. But
Well,
it sounds like you need to visit southern.
Yeah, southern's a little bit nicer these days than northern.
Dang.
No shade, sorry.
Poor Boca. Be nice. Be nice, everyone. Thanks, Boca. Appreciate it. Megan's here. Megan the Texan. She's going to join us next week, everybody. Stay tuned. I'll tell you at the end of the stream what we're talking about next week. It's going to be pretty exciting. Let's see here. Boca, give us another $1.99. Thanks, Boca. Oh, Boca says, don't you dare throw shade at my man, Sam Elliott. We ain't throwing shade. We like Sam Elliott. If somebody has a problem with Sam Elliott, they have a serious issue.
He's
Best
cool.
mustache in Hollywood.
Yes.
Yeah,
He's
everybody's got to
cool.
like Sam Elliott. He's great. And he was great in 1883. My gosh, I loved him in that.
I don't know why, but I know like Sam Elliott and Chris Christopherson. I always like dig them in movies. Those two guys, they're always like the rough, grizzled, like guys that are just cool as could be.
They were born old.
Yeah, and
You've never seen a young picture of Sam Elliott as a child.
yeah, they're both born old and cool.
There's another actor that's like that. What's his name? He was in Captain America, the first one.
Wait, who?
He's older.
Oh, are you
He's in
talking
Men in
about
Black.
Jeff Bridges?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
No,
yeah.
not Jeff Bridges.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Yes,
Yeah,
Tommy Lee
him,
Jones.
yeah.
He always
There you
looks old.
He
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, you've never seen a young Tommy Lee Jones. At least I haven't. He always looks old as hell. But moving on. If we're going on to Ray Liotta here, once he appears, it's such a strange moment. I would love it if somebody watched Field of Dreams without knowing anything about it, and just being thrown into this like mystical tale that's about to unfold here. Because once he shows up, obviously he's famous, a famous baseball player from the past, and his name's Shoeless Joe Jackson. But there's not a single moment in the movie where I see him without shoes on. I think he's always wearing shoes.
Mhm.
I kind of paid close attention. I'm like, is he wearing shoes? Why is he shoeless Joe Jackson? But whatever. So before like we gain a better understanding of why he's here and all of the random kind of mystical moments that occur throughout the movie, how did you guys determine what the point of his appearance was here in the field? Did you have any like initial thoughts about why he's there before we figured out like the real reason?
I previously saw a trailer for this beforehand, so I figured that he was trying to bring a team back together of some sort. That he was trying to encourage. What's the I'm blanking.
No,
right
I
here.
think you're making a good point. I didn't think about that. Like this field is to bring the old team back together.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You see
Yeah,
him do that, and
For
maybe
whatever
that's like how
reason-
they pass on into heaven.
yeah. They kept on asking if this was heaven, and they never really give a straight answer. They're like,
He
this
said
is
it's
Iowa.
Iowa.
Yeah, this is Iowa.
Yeah, it is. They said, "Is this heaven?" It's Iowa. And then he's like, Iowa. I could have sworn it was heaven.
She looked around and go, well, damn. That's
Well,
Do
Wrong
you guys
place.
have any initial thoughts? That's a good one, Luke.
Nice.
I don't really know because he just shows up and he has all the answers. And part of me is thinking he wants to help guide Kevin Costner along this journey just for the final payoff. But yeah, he kind of just shows up there with a plan that we really don't really get to know what it is until later on.
But I almost think it's them playing again too, because that's their redemption story a little bit too, with the whole scandal of whether they threw the World Series or not.
It's a hell
Yeah,
of a
that could've been
story
part of
that
it.
actually happened.
What's that?
That's what I'm saying. It's a hell of a story, the whole scandal and the cheating and everything.
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
It's like in the World Series of all times.
Yeah, yeah. Another good movie, 8 Men Out. Is it 8 Men Out or one? John Cusack. That's another one about the White Sox, about Shoeless Joe Jackson, and it's another good one. But I think this is their redemption story of them, like in this story, like saying they weren't guilty but they were robbed, like stripped of that, and this was their chance to come back and have another game.
Do you think it was kind of like, to me, when he showed up, it kind of felt like he was supposed to be kind of almost like angel-esque, but
Yeah.
like wasn't. But to me, I feel like this is almost like their purgatory.
That's a pretty good purgatory.
Oh, and that's the
Yeah.
thing is, and then, things
I think you're
happen,
right.
maybe they go.
Definitely.
Just
Yeah.
because this movie leans so much on faith, that's why I was like,
No, I agree.
that.
I was kind of hoping that he was his dad the entire time because I watched this movie God knows how long ago. So when I watched it now, I'm like, oh, I thought Shoeless Joe Jackson was his dad and he got to hang out with him so much throughout the movie, and then it turns out he wasn't.
I thought at the end, like towards the end, when he like reveals, the special guest who's his dad, I thought that he was just going to like step out of the field and it was going to be the dad, that it was him all along. But no, that didn't happen. That's one of those weird moments that like you think you saw something correctly the first time, but it wasn't actually the case. That always happens to me when I saw these when I was younger. I have totally different ideas as to how the movies actually played out. That was one of them. But yeah, I was thinking like initially when he showed up, I was thinking like maybe he was there to sort of like prop up some joy in Kevin Costner's life, to be sort of more optimistic, because he was so like dumbed down by his relationship with his father. And I thought this was like his appearance was supposed to sort of enlighten him and give him, I don't know, just joy, just liven his spirits. I didn't think it was that complicated, but obviously it turns out to be more complicated as the movie goes on. which I'm glad, because that would have been kind of, uninteresting if that was the case. Let's talk about the voice, because obviously, the classic whispering voice is iconic. I think it's like, it sticks with you because it's really chilling and eerie. It's not exactly like a heartwarming thing hearing this like shrill whispering voice out of the clear blue sky so many times over. So like that's something I always like associate with the movie like strongly. Like I know that voice, you think of the movie, right? And do you guys like before the end of the movie, which is still kind of like up in the air, when I don't know, like if you rewind back to the first few times you watched this movie and you were entering this from like the beginning stages, who did you guys think that we were led to believe this voice was?
I don't know.
I thought it was one of the baseball players from the past. What was it, 1918?
Was it 18? I don't know. Was it
I
that
think
long
so.
ago?
They were
Wow.
mentioning something from 1918. But really quick about that voice, it wasn't originally in the script. They added it later, and the man narrating the voice was never credited. So
I saw that at the end of the credits. It said himself, the voice himself. I'm like,
So,
no, what does that
we
mean?
don't know who it is. So yeah. Anyway, I just thought it was like a famous baseball player from the past. Speaking down.
Maybe we're not supposed to. Maybe it's just like the voice of God in Kevin Costner.
It sounds a lot like Kevin Costner's voice to me. Like if I think about it, it either sounds like his voice or Ray Liotta. I think it sounds just like Ray Liotta's voice. But obviously it's not him. I think he would have mentioned it. Like, oh yeah, that's me talking to you in the wind, by the way. But no, he didn't have a single moment like that. I was also thinking like if it was Kevin Costner, I was wondering if it was him speaking down to him from heaven, or if it was him from the future speaking to him in the like from the future to him in the past, because obviously we have some strange time traveling moments later in the movie. But yeah, that's sort of one of those unanswered questions. And even at the end, I think they kind of hint at possibly it's like God. But I guess I would rather not know what it is, even though it's like such a pivotal tool in the movie that resurfaces over and over again. I mean, it's the direction, it's the voice of direction. It's the reason for all these things happening is this strange voice. So I don't know, definitely interesting. I'm kind of wondering, in this beginning phase, when I watched it again, I was worried that Kevin Costner was going to be the only one that saw all of the players on the field. Thankfully, it wasn't. His family, thank goodness, saw everyone from the beginning. I thought it would take a lot of like describing and speaking to convincing for Kevin Costner to convince his family to get on board. But thankfully, right off the bat, they saw the players. But not everybody did, obviously. His wife's family, they didn't see him, see any of the players. And I think there might have been a few other examples towards the later part of the movie that didn't see them. Why do you think it is that this group, the family, and later on, Terrence and that the doctor, why was it that they could see the players rather than some that couldn't? Do you have any idea?
It was relevant to his family because he's the one that wanted it to happen, and meant to. Everyone important to him. What's the main character's name again? I can't blanking.
Right.
Yeah, right. Him and his family and the guy he came to visit. It was important to them that they all had a purpose in it. I don't think anyone really else did, and it was nobody else is going to lose their house for it, and so
and it's kind of like
worthy.
The ones that had belief in it, and the believing and
thanks,
not believing.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah,
because there's some that changed during the movie too.
True,
especially towards the end. But yeah,
okay, that makes sense. I guess just having belief in the moment or belief in what it was. I was kind of I think it was definitely an interesting dynamic that so many people, or especially the brother-in-law, when he like comes, he comes to it and he sees finally that there are players on the field. I mean, the whole time he's been an antagonist, and he kind of turns in the end. Doesn't end up being really helpful at all, but yeah, I thought that was an interesting mystery. And it's funny thinking about these people because they're like there's no good word to describe them because they're not exactly ghosts. You know, they don't look anything like ghosts. They don't act like ghosts. They kind of have a ghost story. It's not like they have to avenge anything, but you know, they're dead. All these people are dead.
You kind of just remind me of Babe Ruth from The Sandlot when he came back and it was like in ghost-like form. I kind of wish they all appeared.
That
like
happened.
Yeah, Babe Ruth.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, I wish they were all glowing like he was in The Sandlot.
And this
It would have been too cliche, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe we're not supposed to know. That's the thing of it. We're supposed to see the movie and then discuss it all for an hour or 2 hours.
Well, technically,
Nice.
Ray Liotta said he was not a ghost.
Okay.
You know, on the
Oh,
kid.
Yeah,
nice.
you're right.
But they're kind
Then
of something
what
where they're
is-
like disappearing into the corn. And I always laughed where wasn't the one guy? He goes, "I'm melting, I'm melting."
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Like, it was just-
Speaking of the corn, little side note: there was a big drought going on at the time, so they had to use color to color them green and use water nearby to keep them alive.
Oh, that's crazy.
I think they were pumping a ton of water into that back field there. So,
Man. Wilkie, you could have helped out on set. Why didn't you?
I was 12.
I was,
Yeah.
I was probably I was probably 13 at that point.
Close
But,
enough.
I was finishing up junior high, getting ready for high school. I was too worried about what outfit I was going to wear for the next day.
You could have been James Earl Jones's stuntman.
I could have been. I almost have his voice. I could have been his voiceover for.
You know what's
no.
funny, Wilkie? Every time you stream with me, I get to see how much more your beard grows too, and now it's getting pretty big again. That's good. It looks good.
Yeah, I
I
need to
like
trim
that.
it up. It was very windy today, so I got a little extra body to it. We'll say that it got poofed up a little bit. The wind was furious and cold. I'll say that. So
Nice.
it's a little poofy today.
All right, let's say hi to the chat again here real quick. Boca, what is the latest movie that you've had this much emotional depth, character build, and payoff, especially without a lot of CGI and world building with 5 previous movies? Yeah, literally. Gosh, there's just so much. There's a lot of depth to this. It's an ambitious movie. It's not plain. It's not simple. There's a lot of layers to it.
It's also very slow, too. There's not really a lot of action going on. It's kind of amazing that a movie like this, for the runtime that it is, it does capture you the whole time. It's never any slow or boring or one just fast forward moments through it.
And I would agree. I enjoy this movie, so but I wonder how it would do if it came out today. You know,
Oppenheimer was $1 billion movie almost, so
that's
Yeah, that was slow
I got
and
you.
boring.
No, I got you.
sometimes we
Yeah.
need a movie like this that's character driven, that just builds up.
I just kind of wonder if attention spans have gone away, where it's just like, where are we going? Nothing's blown up yet. Or,
Yeah.
And believe me, I love those movies too, so I'm not making fun of them. But
No, you can make fun of them. It's okay.
no, I enjoy it. I love a good old action movie. So, but I think nowadays, Oppenheimer. That's a great example of a modern one. That'd be
It
slower,
could happen.
slower burn. Yeah.
Another movie I think is like, it's not nearly on par with Field of Dreams, but it is a modern example of something kind of similar to me with the same sort of heart and message is Rental Family. I always talk about it. This reminded me of Rental Family, but this is obviously way superior to that. But if you're looking for a modern like semi-equivalent, definitely Rental Family with Brendan Fraser. That one comes pretty close. Definitely recommend that one. Oh gosh, Brock Fowl, he's a big fan of Hamnet. Man, I saw Hamnet. It was too much for me. They call it a raw drama for a reason. My gosh, too much, man. I don't need to see all that.
I
much.
don't know. I have no idea what Hamnet is. Every time I see a
Likewise.
tiny little TV spot of it, it just tells me it's the best movie of the year. And the same thing with Marty Supreme. I didn't know that was a ping pong movie until like a week before it came out. I thought it was a Martin Scorsese biopic, honestly. Now you're
Nice.
telling me it's about ping pong and Hamnet. It's like, is it Hamlet just spelt weird?
No, but it
That's
is
what I initially
Shakespeare, though.
Oh, okay.
It's-
Because I was thinking is it a spinoff of? I thought the same thing. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah,
so
it's
I'm in the same
Shakespeare.
boat.
All I know is it's
That's
Joe,
the
I was-
story of Hamlet.
So it is about
I don't
Hamlet.
get the Hamnet part of it. I think that's like another way to say Hamlet.
The British
um,
spelling.
Yeah, it's something weird.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Tomato.
That sounded
exactly.
convincing.
Hamlet. Exactly.
It's like Idaho and Iowa.
Gosh. Here, let's get to a few of these.
Nicely played. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Boaca's dropping another 4.99. Appreciate it, buddy. Sam Elliott brought depth to Mask. I guess that's a film. And the third remake of A Star Is Born. Not to mention legendary role in Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mask.
Roadhouse.
Mask is a dramatic one. Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's got
okay.
Cher in it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
if I'm
that's
thinking
weird.
of the right one, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, wow.
Third
Cool.
remake. Of
I've never
Star
heard
is
of that
Born.
one. A Star, man, how many remakes have there been? There must be 4 then, because
last
I
one
don't
was
think
with
he's
Lady-
in that.
There's at least 3.
Yeah.
Well, last one was Lady Gaga, right?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's at least 3.
Weird.
For now.
3 too
For
many.
now.
Can they just think of something else, please? I was thinking about that with the new Heat movie. Like, I guess it's pretty unrelated. It's not like any of the main characters we follow are supposed to be like younger versions of the cast from the first Heat. I'm pretty sure I read that correctly. And if that's the case, please call it something else. Do not put it in this world. It's absolutely ridiculous.
There's a new Heat movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Heat
Well, there's
2.
a book,
Exactly.
but there's a book written already, isn't there?
Okay, there is.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think
I
so.
don't know. Proctfile. Okay, boys, who's the voice talking to him? Yeah, we talked about that. We were trying to figure it out, Proctfile. We don't really know. It's a tough one. I don't know. It can't be Ray Liotta. It's got to be God. It just has
God.
to be God.
It has to be. And I wonder when they filmed it, because I know Prince of Egypt did this, where the voice of God is 5 different characters saying the same line all blended together. I wonder if this voice is Ray Liotta and Kevin Costner and a couple of other ones. Because does it actually have a person attached to it?
I don't think.
I don't think in the
No.
credits. I don't think in the credits it did.
I think it might be a couple people combined.
And here he
Well,
is
that would make
repeating
sense,
again.
though. It would
Okay,
make sense.
boys, what allows people to see the players? We don't know. We're still figuring that out too. Or well, no, we do. It's the belief. It's believing in the. It's
No.
believing in the what the field is and having
Mm.
belief in that and what
It
it
would be
represents.
it would be a different movie if everyone can see them.
Yeah,
Imagine
that
all
would
the people
definitely
that
stink.
because when they were tearing down the field, all the people that stopped and laughed at them. Imagine if they could all see a
You're
random
right.
group of dudes come out of the cornfield. Like, it changes everything.
You're right.
Yeah.
There's the other example because I mean, obviously, towards the end, when all these people are flocking to go to the field, I imagine they're all going to see what they have because they're believing in it. But yeah, I totally forgot about them. Yeah, there was a whole mass of random people taking pictures and laughing at them.
Mhm.
So yeah,
That whole, just since you mentioned it, not to go off that and sidetrack again, but that whole end scene with the huge line of cars at night with the headlights on, all of that was real, and they put out a big call out for people in the area to come with their vehicles and to drive up and do that. So those were all actual vehicles, no
ooh, no CGI vehicles.
CGI, but
Wow,
but it was just like being a extra in a movie.
Yeah.
Like they were just calling for people to. All you got to do is we're going to line up and tell you when to go and have your headlights on. And they had that big string of cars down the blacktops heading down that way.
Do you want to meet Kevin Costner? Do you also have a car? Bring your car down to the Field of Dreams.
You too can be in a major motion picture, or at least your headlights will be.
Oh, nice. Well, here, let's move on to the next part of this story where we are easing the pain. The next message surfaces. So, of course, it's not just Ray Liotta here. He's not the only player. He invites a bunch of his old buddies from back in the day. So a ton of baseball players pass from the surface, and they're all playing together. They're having a great time. They enjoy playing baseball again. It's that passion that's driven them and that they've missed ever since they've passed away. So this is really their opportunity to bring back their joy of playing ball. And while all this is happening, Ray, he gets to play along with them, which is pretty cool. I imagine, it'd be crazy getting to do something alongside all of the people you looked up to growing up, especially since all of these, a lot of these players had a connection between, the dad as well. The dad looked up to a lot of these players, and in turn, his son, Ray, looked up to a lot of these players. So it's a very special moment. And while he's enjoying all this, he gets another eerie message from the distance. Ease his pain. And that's a much stranger message. It's like, ew, I don't know about this one. That's kind of freaky a little bit. Easy's paid. So he's
Yeah.
trying to figure out what to do with this, and this is definitely a strange one. And eventually, he goes to this strange school meeting where there's a protest against this author, Terrence Mann, one of his books, for being inappropriate, whatever else. And he interprets this message as a way to help out Terrence Mann as the author who's in pain, and he's able to find a connection with Terrence Mann's past as a dreamer. He was a dreamer himself. He loved playing ball, and he longed to play professionally, and he kind of pushed away that dream to pursue writing, of course. So he goes out of his way, despite initially protest from his wife. The two have the dream. They share the same dream of Kevin Costner sharing a hot dog at the Fenwick Park, and that that creates a trusted image for the wife to support his trip. So he takes a trip all the way out to Boston. Which, Wilkie, do you know how far away Boston is from Iowa by chance? Any idea?
It's a long trip.
Long drive.
Oh, you'd have two very long days of driving. So
Wow.
It'd be a long way. I'd have to look it up for sure. But can I throw in one quote from
Sure,
that?
yeah.
When they were talking about when they were trying to ban his book or whatever, when they were having the big again, Amy Madigan, I love her character in this, like where she was like getting all riled up again. She's like, oh, it's like my protesting days or whatever. And I think there was some lady that was against the book, and she's for the book. Lady that was against the book, she's like, excuse me, I experienced the 60s. And Amy Madigan's character was like, no, ma'am, I think you had 250s and went right on to the 70s or something like that. I'm just kind of throwing out that she like missed the whole point of that thing. But I don't know. I loved her character. Sorry, I'm shutting up now.
Yeah, I mean, that's like that's a odd image, right? Of a hippie farmer girl, right? I mean, that's unseen. It doesn't really make much sense. They would go together very well, but I didn't even take her as like the annoying hippie character.
She wasn't annoying, but she had that the feistiness.
She had the roots, the hippie roots,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
But I think she'd probably changed since that point. But who knows? Right?
But I think she was feeling it again at that. So I was going to look up. So Field of Dreams in real life to Fenway Park, driving is about 18 and a half hours.
Ooh, dang. That's rough. Yeah, and he's sleeping in his
about
car.
1,200 miles. So
wow.
There you go.
So he goes all the way out there to visit James Earl Jones, who is Terrence Mann, of course, the author. And, when he confronts him, he's very aloof and he's uninterested. He doesn't want anything to do with him. And, after some pretty, violent convincing, he convinces him to go to Fenwick Park to sort of see this weird vision, this dream through. And both of them shared a very strange experience there. And we're going to talk about that soon. But, just getting into Terrence Mann's character, I'm kind of wondering, why did you guys think that he was aloof? What was his reason for being so pushed away from society, despite being, a successful, influential author?
Well, I think he kind of said it in the movie where he was just tired of people not thinking for themselves and thinking they always had to come. He would have the answers for everything for them. And they kept on coming to him for all the answers. And he was, just like any human being. He's like, I don't have all the answers. Think for yourself, like don't just follow what I say, kind of a thing. And I think that made him withdraw. And
I think that's fair. I remember him talking about it, but I was kind of wondering, because, it is a crazy thing, at the end of the day, because obviously he had a lot of influence. I imagine that, at this point, this one lady complaining about the book, there was probably tons of those situations all across the country of people complaining about his book. I imagine it's probably a regular title in the curriculum. So I think that would be pretty demoralizing, having so many people, putting down your book. And, I can't even imagine these old titles being nearly as bad as like some of the newer stuff we hear about is in books that are getting banned that people are upset about. So I'm curious I wouldn't mind giving this a read from his perspective. It's probably pretty interesting. But yeah, they were all up in arms about that. And Yeah, I was kind of wondering about that because he's very off-putting. He's not friendly at all at this point. He's it's kind of surprising to see where his character goes from here because he's definitely a loner, and there's it doesn't look like there's any saving for him. He doesn't seem like he could be convinced of anything. He's just that aloof. But it's pretty amazing watching him change and evolve throughout the 2-hour runtime. It was definitely, that was one of those aspects of the film I really enjoyed, seeing him become happy for Pete's sake, because he was so miserable in the beginning. But how do you think, because I think a lot of it had to do with Ray's passion, how do you think Ray's passion and commitment to follow his dreams motivated Terrence to join him?
I would say that 100% of it did. And especially when he started actually seeing the things and believing, that just changed everything. It was like all the doubts completely gone, because now I can see with my own two eyes that, oh, you're not lying to me. This is all real.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's also like a rare example, right? It's like, who actually, nowadays it's so hard to find somebody that's actually going to do what they say they're going to do too. And you saw him, and he's driven over like 1,200 miles, like you said, Wilkie, to get to him for this purpose. And he had no angle too. There was no angle for this. He doesn't get anything out of this entire exchange, right? So it's so, I think it being so peculiar, it definitely kind of made him curious. You guys have any thoughts?
Well, they had kind of a crossover of dream or vision or something too, kind of like Ray and his wife too, didn't they? Because I think that was like one of the tipping points where I'm blanking on what exactly it was.
It was on the. What was that?
They both saw the
Yeah.
Jumbotron. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they had to like
right.
find
They went to
that
the game
guy.
together. Yeah.
But I think it's too. He also saw that Kevin Costner was like sincere in what he was getting at with him. I think that's why he trusted it. Kind of like he was just like, I see that this guy isn't actually like pulling my leg, and he's trying to get an interview out of me, trying to get me to do something. He was just like, hey, this guy is like genuine with what he's coming at me with. And he probably saw maybe like a little bit of himself in him as like younger, when he was being, outspoken with whatever it was that he was, I don't know, preaching at. I don't know what the right word is at the moment, but like,
yeah,
it's kind of like okay, this guy means business, and it's kind of intriguing because he doesn't fully know what's happening. So let me just go along for the ride. That's what I feel like he did. And then he just saw it playing out. So
yeah, he sees a true passion in somebody, and maybe he's not used to seeing a true, genuine passion in people again, and it got him intrigued. Yeah,
and probably people took advantage of him. With as mad as that guy was, you could tell that people were taking advantage of that dude. Especially since he's older too, because people do that to older people all the time.
I still love that though with him. Did he like come at Costner with like a crowbar or a bat or something?
Yeah, the crowbar.
He was going
to beat his brains in.
And then Costner was like, "But you're a pacifist," and he's like, "Damn it!"
Yeah,
he's like, "Yeah, you're right. Damn it."
Would that be you, Wilkie?
Being the pacifist or no, probably no. I'm joking.
Well, I want a horror movie with Wilkie. I want a horror movie where it's like is it called Don't Breathe, where the kids, they break into the house?
Oh, I get to be the creepy old guy.
Yeah.
I get to be the creepy old guy. Thank you.
No, you don't have to be. It's your own story. It's your own story.
My own creepy story.
You can be whatever you want, but I like the idea of you being like the horror character. Like that would be cool.
I was actually just saying earlier today, some of the people that play the nice, friendly, lovable characters, when they do that one twist of a movie where they're the bad person or the unhinged one, sometimes those are the most fun to see. So,
like, what is it, Heretic? Is that where they did that?
Yes.
What's his face?
Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant. Yeah, that's right.
Well, I was just even talking about that because of seeing Rachel McAdams and Sent Help.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Spoilers.
That's not a spoiler. You'll see. I didn't spoil anything.
Is that out already?
I got to see an early screening this last week.
Oh, cool. All right.
So,
Yeah,
it was
I'm gonna need to see
AMC
that.
theaters. I was traveling to visit a friend, and AMC theaters had a I didn't get anything special, but they just had I guess once in a while, an early screener of movies. But that one and like John Goodman, I think he plays a good creepy character and a couple different like 12
Cloverfield
Lane
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah,
Death Sentence.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Death Sentence.
Put that on the list, Brawler.
Yeah, I've seen the what was it
Kevin
called?
Bacon?
You just mentioned it. The first one where John Goodman's bad.
Oh, 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah, that
10,
one. I've
I
seen
said
that
12.
one. It's
I'm
been a
always
while.
good about
No, it's good. There's so many movies. There's so many names. There's variations, right? And there's so many
Yes.
Cloverfield movies too, for Pete's sakes, right?
There is.
Yeah. See,
Too many.
So, no,
How were
no
they all
disrespect, man.
connected?
Oh gosh. So I'm kind of wondering, like, when we're talking about this movie, I think like one word to describe it real well, just in general, is wonder. Because I think this movie, it does such a good job an impressive job capturing wonder of these ongoing phenomenons, right? And we can kind of bounce all over talking about this, but what did you guys think? In what ways does this movie display and provide a wondrous experience as we see these like really out of this world moments unfold? Do you guys have any insights on that?
For me, I think this is a masterclass in show not tell, because some of the best scenes in this movie are just the long pauses where no one's talking and then the score just carries it. And we just see, like the scene right here, all the emotion on their faces and everything.
Yeah, I think a lot of that comes to the performances, right? Especially Kevin Costner. You look at him and I think he's, just as an actor, I don't think, like, when I talk about movies, I don't credit the actor's performance as much as like the writing, the direction, the cinematography, whatever else. But geez, I mean, Kevin Costner here, I think he's able to he has that twinkle in his eye and that charm that is so engrossing, and it's so easy to feel what he feels. And that's something I loved about Wyatt Earp, is I really felt for his character in there. And here we are again in this, as well as Dances with Wolves. It's just special with him.
I just think he looks freaking cool in any movies. I'm sorry, but I won't say it's a man crush or something, but he's always I'm just saying he's a cool dude. You can't say that you can't say like you were be like I wouldn't mind being like that dude right there.
Yeah.
I mean it in that way. Don't take it too far.
You're the one that said that.
I meant it in a like
An innocent way.
Yes, of course. Nobody was thinking
Like
that.
he's cool.
not,
Get out of here.
no, he just always seems very cool in all the movies. Like I don't know too many movies. Well, the one movie maybe that now he has a good one too, where he goes to the dark side.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know that one.
Mr.
Brooks.
Oh, okay. That's a good one.
Yeah,
Wow,
that's
him
if
as
you,
a
Yeah,
villain.
that's an under the
I
radar.
don't
wanna-
want to see that.
if you want to see him going a little dark, that was his movie that he went to that. And but I think it's some of those people, they make it's a good twist when you get to see them do something like that.
Do someone bad.
Yeah.
I think Tom Cruise did a movie like that too. I can't remember what it was though, where he played a really good villain. I've been hearing a lot
him
of
and
good
Jamie
things about
Foxx.
it.
Collateral.
Yeah, Collateral.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. That's one I got to add to the list. I think also I was curious because I saw at the end of the credits, James Horner composed this, and I knew that name from something, and I looked him up, and of course I kind of felt a little bit of resemblance in Aliens, and of course he composed Aliens, and that guy, man, he's got some tenure. And once the movie was over, I was just kind of sitting down and I was thinking about it, and the music was just playing and it choked me up, man. The music is just so incredible in this. I think it does. It just matches the tone of the film so well. It's just like, it just harkens you to view both, like, look back on your past and remember the good old times, while also like, spiking and sparking curiosity as to what the future has in store for you, because this movie does such a great job, like, piquing both of those interests, looking back on the past, trying to forgive yourself, forgive others in the past, to move on in the future. And oh my gosh, I love it. Yeah, the music really is unmatched here. I thought it was Howard Shore for whatever reason. I kept thinking it was some of Howard Shore's music, but no, it wasn't him. So this other composer, I want to listen to some more of his work, because that's definitely one of those names that stands out when you think of like the famous composers from films. Yeah. Well, I guess we can move on to the third chapter in here because this is another one of those characters that it completely went over my head upon second viewing. Graham, Dr. Graham. Let me see if I have a picture of him somewhere. I guess I could just click this one. But yeah, going the distance, the message of going the distance. So
the great Burt Lancaster.
Yes. Okay. So you're familiar with this actor. What is he well known for?
Oh, geez, he's been in a bunch of different things. He's been in. Oh gosh, now I'm like trying to think. He's been in I don't know how many different movies, but a lot of it's been a lot longer ago. But now I'm trying to think of like something that would be a little more recognizable to you. But The Killers. Oh my gosh, if you go, there's a lot of noirs. The Killers, I Walk Alone. Those are great. Sorry, Wrong Number. If you ever want to dive into some black and white, like some old film noir,
Okay,
those are all great ones. So
I like black and white films. I'm excited to watch Elephant Man at some point.
Ooh, yeah.
But that's
That's
not
a good
like that's
movie.
black and white. Just like it's not black and white because it's old though, right?
I
Wasn't
believe
that
it
like
is.
a creative choice?
It's like the 70s, but I think it was because that's like the most normal David Lynch movie you'll ever see.
Oh gosh.
But it's not weird though.
Did you
I
use
promise.
quotes when you said that, or no?
Yeah, I would say-
I'm joking.
That in A Straight Story, he did that movie too. It was for Disney, and that was a very normal.
Oh, I know
movie.
that one. Yeah, I've seen
Yeah,
that. That's a
when
good
he rides
one.
the lawnmower across.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, excuse me, Elephant Man was 1980. So yeah,
Okay. Yeah, definitely a creative choice. The Straight Story is a good one. That's a strange one too. I can't even believe I watched it. I saw some little clip on it once, and I was curious, so I ended up watching the whole movie. And yeah, it was pretty sad. I didn't know David Lynch did that. That's interesting. Cool.
he's an interesting guy.
So at this point in time, we're getting. I think we're around halfway point in the film here. Ray and Terrence, they're both in the baseball diamond, right? The Fenwick Park. And the moment we've mentioned a few times is them looking up at the billboard, and they see this strange message. And the message, it says this. It's like a description. It says Archibald Moonlight Graham, Chisholm, Minnesota, New York Giants, 1922, lifetime statistics, 1 game, 0 at bat. And this was, this is kind of a strange image, right? Like this is totally unrelated to anything that they've seen leading up to this. Like all these messages, none of them are really they don't really add up very well. They're very distinct, right? And they also hear in the distance another message in whispering form, go the distance. So they're taking this, of course, more directly, go the distance, drive all the way over here to Minnesota to find this guy. So Ray and Terrence, they decide to travel together. At first, Terrence is sort of in protest of this, but he quickly, accepts reality that, yes, he heard this message, he saw the message, and he's starting to believe that there's something big at play here. There's a spiritual aspect to this, and he has a role to play here, of course. So they make that long drive from Boston to Minnesota. And upon their arrival, they're disappointed to learn that he's dead, unfortunately. And they're like, okay, what are we supposed to do? Now he's dead. We're not at the field. We're not in the field of dreams where baseball players, they can feel safe to play there. That's a distinct zone. So they were kind of puzzled as to what to do next. And funny enough, Ray, he decides to take a stroll. So he leaves James Earl Jones' character alone and he walks outside and he starts to see some funny things. He's like, wow, this looks way older than where I was like 10 minutes ago. And he sees Godfather. It's in theaters now. And there's some other context clues. I think there's some posters of, Richard Nixon for president. So it's like, okay, this is definitely not the present time. What happened was he was taken back in time to 1972. And here he discovers a much older Graham. And he has a discussion with him. And pretty much at the end of the day, we realized that his dream of being a baseball player, it was cut short. He didn't even get to bat on base. And he always kind of looked back on that. He was disappointed. And he ended up having a successful life as a doctor. He did a lot of great things with that profession. And, Kevin Costner, of course, he thinks, okay, this is my opportunity to, bring him back to my place. He can play a game and he could be satisfied, right? But he's he is very indignant on staying in Chisholm. He doesn't want to leave to visit the field. So now they're pretty, he's like, okay, what are we supposed to do now? He's kind of broken apart. It's in this time frame where he learns that they are going through some really serious financial hardships back at home. So he's like, okay, disheartened by the whole thing, he has to go back. Terrence joins him. It's like, great, awesome. Terrence is part of the story. He's sticking along for the ride, which is a long ride, I imagine. So on their way back, the message finally rings true. The whole reason why all this happened, when they had the grace to pick up a hitchhiker on the road, a young man, and it's like just some random Joe Schmo at first, and they learn that this is a much younger Dr. Graham while he was still interested in baseball. And for whatever reason, he is young at this point in time, and he's in the present world. So a lot happens there. I'm kind of wondering, this whole sequence really kind of blows the film out of the water for me, because we are no longer at the Field of Dreams. So it seems like a lot of the fantasy would be kind of left in the field with all the time travel and whatever else. But here we are all this time away, and we are seeing Ray taken back in time in this space and talking to an old version of this character who's dead. And then, not long after that, on their way home, he runs into the same character in present time as a young man. So it's like two totally different things. It's when we get a little like kind of crazy into sci-fi a little bit. Do you guys think that this sequence pushed fantasy of the story a little too far, or did it work well enough for you where this was kind of believable?
It, like you said, it kind of blew it out of the water for me, and not the best way, because it just caused so much confusion for no reasons. Like the whole time travel, the whole time travel sequence. Like, how did that happen?
Yeah,
they never really said why or how. But, I just went with it, and I thought it was pretty sweet. I don't know.
I mean, you could have achieved the same thing by him running into the doctor. Maybe he sprains his ankle or something. There's a doctor helping him out, and maybe they go to the field. And when he steps on the field, he turns into a young man. I think this was a little bit. They didn't know how to get him young playing baseball. I think they didn't know exactly how to do that. So that's why it was there.
Ashley, what do you think? Go for it.
It kind of stretched my imagination on that, but at the same time, I didn't mind it, because I was just along for the ride. I was like, you know what? I don't even care. Let's do this. But I did like how it showed him as an older man, and then obviously him younger and just excited to play the game and stuff like that. And then, of course, what ultimately happens with his choice. But I also feel like that's also since it is so heavily leaning on faith, it's kind of like you're choosing, like a movie that came out last year, that Eternity movie. It's like once you die, you basically end up at your happiest, like however old that was. So it's almost like he was choosing which route he was going to go, type deal. So I was like, I don't mind both, but I kind of wish that it would have just happened just on the baseball field, him being younger, type deal. That would have been better to me. Wouldn't have just been stretching my imagination a little bit.
Yeah, it kind of breaks some rules there, but I guess, are there rules? I guess they kind of established rules in the beginning that, Ray Liotta, he's tied to that field. He's either in the cornfield in heaven or whatever it is. It's not heaven, obviously. He passes into some other dimension, and then he goes onto the field, and that's it. So here we are. We're all the way out here, and all this magical stuff is happening, yet that's not tied to the field. So I don't know. What about you, Wilkie? What do you think?
I was already accepting old White Sox players appearing out of a cornfield, so I figured I would accept that as well. It didn't, but no, I know exactly what I'm being a smart ass. But I completely agree with everybody what you're saying. It does feel disjointed from what they kind of originally set up, like cornfield to the baseball field, and not out of those two things. But yeah, just jokingly, I'm like, well, I'm already accepting that these old ball players are coming out of the cornfield to play a game, so I'd go with it. So
I mean, it's far-fetched, but who cares? Like, I don't
Yeah,
care. It
yeah.
doesn't ruin anything for me, but
Yeah.
it's just kind of funny if you consider the whole picture, right?
Yeah,
How
yeah.
it doesn't really match. I could care less. I really don't care. It doesn't. Yeah, I love it the way it is. I don't want to change anything about this. So, but definitely something to think about. Real quick, I want to get to these super chats real quick. Boica hitting us up again. Appreciate it, Boica. 199 review challenge. The Mask. No review. No huevos. Nice. That mean no balls? I think that's what that means.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. No balls. I'm down, man. I'll have to add that one to the list, Boica.
Yeah, that'd be C.
I don't know. I don't know anything about. I don't know anything about The Mask. I've never heard of it either. So if it's Sam Elliott, I'm down. You sold me.
And you got Cher.
Yeah.
In her prime, probably almost there, but
Cool.
That's a pretty good movie, though.
yeah. It was up for. Did it win awards? I know it was up for
I don't
a lot
remember.
of stuff, but I don't know. That's where I'm bad. I don't remember awards, but it's
don't pay
worth checking.
attention.
It's worth. I don't either, but it's worth checking out.
Okay.
It
It's worth
is.
checking out.
Sweet. I see our friend Gord King's here. Papa Pumpkin. Field of Dreams does crops better than signs. Hey,
Ooh.
no way. Crops
Shots
and
fired.
signs.
Yeah.
Shots.
Nah. You know what?
Man.
Signs, come on. Crops is such a small element in this movie. I think crops are pretty important in signs. But y'all are signs haters. I am not talking about signs. We're talking
After
about Field
his-
of Dreams.
After his last week 4 out of 10, I'm surprised they didn't ban him from the chat.
Yeah, 4 out of 10. You're right.
Hey,
Block.
I like how they tie together though. You got cornfields in both of
Yes.
them, and
Yeah.
swing away.
Swing away.
Ooh, swing
Yeah.
away.
Swing away.
Swing
You got
away,
the
Merrill.
baseball. You got
Merrill.
the baseball thing. There.
Swing away.
Yeah.
Hey, very good. Very good. All right, our friend Boica here again for $4.99. Appreciate it, Boica. Box office brawler with all of Kevin's movies. You don't think he can carry an emotional film? Like, yes, I do. Come on, man. He's not a great, but he can convey what needed. Yes, I do. I love Kevin Costner. Of course. Yes, he can carry an emotional film. Where do people get these ideas? I love Kevin Costner. I love him in Dances with Wolves, damn it. I love him in A New Daughter. Nobody likes A New Daughter. My sister hates it. I love it. I've been watching it ever since I was young. He's the lead in a horror film, and it's stupid, but he's great. And it's emotional, even though it's a garbage movie. And he's great in Dances with Wolves. He's great in Wyatt Earp. I love him as an emotional lead in everything I've seen. There's not a single thing. If I ever watch, what is it called? Waterworld?
Oh, God,
Waterworld, is
good
that
luck.
the movie? I think I want us to watch that one at some point.
Yes.
I've heard a lot
You got
of bad
him and
things.
Dennis Hopper in that
Yes.
one.
Yeah.
You like that? You like that War, Joe?
Oh, I love Waterworld.
Okay,
I don't
good.
understand.
That was one of the most expensive flops, or definitely.
But why?
It was so expensive because all the shooting on water. It cost like a crazy amount. If you look at it, there could be bigger flops now, and I'm not making fun of it. I'm just saying for the amount of money that they spent on that to what they brought back in box office, it was a rough one. But apparently all the filming they did out on the water just cost an amazing amount of money, and they did a ton of reshoots and stuff. So yeah, it was a rough one for him.
Yeah, that's a shame. I'm curious about that one. That's like the one that's probably crapped on the most of his, right?
Oh,
That or The Postman.
I was about to say The Postman.
Postman.
That movie is boring. Oh,
That's another one that I think gets onto that side of things.
I want to see
So,
JFK. That's what I want to see.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes some liberties with things. I'll just say that,
well,
but
yeah.
some assumptions we'll say.
Ooh,
But,
bad.
Old
But
Kevin Costner.
if you just take Go ahead.
Old Kevin Costner is better than new Kevin Costner movies.
Oh.
Draft Day. and
Don't hate on
50-50.
Horizon.
I didn't see Horizon. It's like a 7-hour movie.
That's long.
That's not a movie. That's a mini series
Yeah.
yeah.
that they just put in
Yeah.
the theater.
Yeah, let's go to this one. Parked File, thanks for the super chat again, buddy. Pop quiz. What's James Earl Jones' most famous role? Duh,
Darth
he's
Vader.
Darth Vader. I'm
Vader.
not stupid. I'm
You know
not
what?
Emma
It's the
Pasta.
old man from Sandlot.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm kidding.
I've seen him in a Christian movie, and he was really good in that too. I can't remember what it's called. I remember watching that when I was young. I really enjoyed it. I like the Big Bang Theory when he has the cameo in that.
You
At
like
the restaurant.
Star Wars?
Yeah.
I too like Star Wars. You know, he actually signed the rights over to Disney for his voice, so
Yeah.
after he died, he can still do Darth Vader.
Oh, so they can like AI his voice into things or whatever.
Well, they
I mean,
did
his
that in
family-
Rogue One, right?
But
I don't
no,
know.
that was with Grand Moff talking.
Wait, so this is weird. People are talking in the chat about Graham. Is it Graham being dead? The old guy. I'm pretty sure they said he was dead because the lady, what was it? The lady who they went to some lady that was somehow associated
Yeah.
with him, and I'm pretty sure she said that he passed away, right?
Yeah, 1974.
Yeah, so he's dead. She says, so Rubber Rose says, if you think he is dead, how do you freaking explain that he chooses to leave the field and is an old man who lives the rest of his life after having his dream? It's
what
kind of
happens to him
confusing. I don't know. He's dead. I mean, the lady said he was dead. And he went back in time to 1972 and he was old there.
Mhm.
So I'm pretty sure he's dead. That doesn't really make much sense.
His
I don't
character
know how
makes
you
no
explain
sense.
it. Yeah, but we're not. I am not. I
Don't
need to-
ask questions.
Just
No.
watch.
Just watch and enjoy.
Yes, watch and enjoy is an
Enjoy.
American classic. Oh gosh, here let's continue on with this though. So, we got a little sidetracked there. So they got the message, of course, to go visit. They saw the old man, and yeah, they pick up the hitchhiker. They find young Graham, and they realize that, okay, this message was actually pretty important. Thankfully, this is all part of the grand plan, and they're heading back to the farm. So I'm kind of wondering, do you for as like kind of outrageous and sometimes sort of ridiculous as a lot of these moments are, where we're going back in time or whatever else, do you think the force that grounds the film is the main conflict of the story, which is the financial burdens that are happening behind the scenes? Or is there another force that grounds this? Because it's kind of hard to like stay on board with this being a grounded story when you have all of these outlandish moments where you're traveling through time and whatever else.
I think some of the real struggles, the redemption stories, the different ones you have going on, even though it's tying in what you're saying, that's something not, like real. You have these baseball players coming out of the cornfield. You got, the travel back in time, everything like that. But I think everything's tying to some real emotions and like situations that a lot of people have dealt with and or can relate to very well. And I think that grounds it. Ray and his father, or I don't know. There's just a lot of different situations there that the whole thing that's pulling it together are real situations, real feelings of regret and wanting to mend things that you could relate in your everyday life. So I think that helps with it. But
yeah, it feels like a lot of unfinished business with every single character, and all just like, oh, okay, well, now we're gonna bring everyone together. Everyone's gonna have their moment. Guys from the past are gonna finally get to play baseball, and hey, we all have a happily ever ending. But it's
because who doesn't have something that you wouldn't mind going back and having a redo on, So I think every single person can relate to that, or a situation that, that didn't go the way I wanted it to, or a relationship or whatever, and want to have that chance to, maybe sometimes swallow the pride and just, I don't know, come together again, and have that redemption. And I think every single person has something they can tie to that and relate to. So
it's a really deep question.
Yeah.
I like how you asked that. We all kind of pause, like, yeah, how do we start with that? Yeah.
I think that that's something that's special. Like the best movies are the ones that like crack at those deep concepts, right? And gets deep. I remember Ty was watching those with us, and there was a moment, I don't remember what moment it was, where I think Kevin Costner and James Earl Jones are having a very serious conversation, and he's like, whoa, that got deep fast. And this movie, it just hits you with it every once in a while, and man, it gets you in the feels. I love those kind of movies. Those are the best, and I want to cry. I want to cry watching something. And I'm not going to lie, this choked me up quite a few times seeing this. And I put on my X that this is out of the last 43 movies we've done on Gen Z reviews, this is probably top 3 for like getting that reaction out of me, like really choking me up like this did.
So the last watch here, probably not as much because I've seen it so many times, but I'll tell you, the ones that can get to me, definitely that rank up there are the father-son, father-daughter dynamic, you know, things going on in movies. They'll get to me. And so this definitely has that going on for sure. So
yeah, so many real world situations, right? What were you saying, Joe?
I was gonna say, I think watching this before being a parent and now being a parent, the movies, it just feels so much different now, and there is definitely a different feeling of me watching. It's like, oh, I get it now. I get why my dad was emotional during John Q at the end of this too. Like I finally understand what he's meaning.
and hopefully my kids will be like, oh, now I understand why my dad was a jerk, and now I'll forgive him. Sorry, I had to lighten it up a little bit. But no, honestly, not being sarcastic. Like I said, that's another real thing that a lot of people can have that can relate to, whether you're the parent or the child, or you experience it on both ends of that, you know, like when you were a kid and now you're a parent, or there's very real world issues and problems that are pulling this whole thing together. And I think that's what, like you were asking, what grounds it. That's definitely it.
What do you think? Like, I think one of my favorite aspects of this film is watching Kevin Costner and James Earl Jones together. I think they're so different from each other. What do you think it is about their dynamic that's so interesting to follow throughout the movie?
They just click and they feel so real too.
I just love James Earl Jones' voice. I think that dude could read a phone book and you'd sit there and listen to him. You know?
I want to see him read 50 Shades of Grey out loud.
Ew, weirdo.
You know,
I can do that for
There's
you.
a video of, what was the, oh, damn, who was that other guy? I forgot his name. Damn, I'll remember it later.
Oh, okay.
He's got one of those iconic voices, though. I don't care what
Yeah.
movie or where you heard it or whenever. You hear that voice, you know who it is.
Yeah, it's definitely distinct. I think it's like, it's funny because, you know, both of them are very real characters, but they're also so different from each other. And, you know, they come from two totally different places. And I think, like, you know, seeing his relationship like grow with Kevin Costner is kind of a sweet thing to see. You know, at first he was so detested by him, and you know, by the end of the movie, I mean, he's, you know, he chooses his salvation because of this journey he went on, and he embraces the challenge of joining him on this strange quest, even though it's not like there's no guarantee that he's going to get anything out of it. And I get that he wasn't really doing anything back home, but I mean, he was putting himself out there. I mean, I can't imagine how much time these guys had together on the road. And like, even just a simple moment I enjoyed was, you know, I was thinking like Kevin Costner, he's doing all this driving in that van. And I was wondering, is James Earl Jones going to pitch in here? Is he just going to do all the work? But they were trading it off. And I'm like, good for him. You know what I mean? That's not fun or easy. And he went through that to jump along and help this stranger out. So I mean, you can't help but respect him for that.
I thought they were a good pairing. I don't know what it was, but I thought the two of them together were great in this movie.
Should we have had more conversations in the car between them?
I wouldn't have
That could've
minded
been
I
that.
think we could have used
Yeah.
this maybe a conversation or two, just maybe find out they're not so different from each other. Maybe.
Yeah.
I'd listen to it.
Yeah.
I'd
Sounds
listen
good.
to it. You know,
It sounds like you'll listen to anything that James Earl Jones does.
heck
I
yeah.
absolutely would. Also, it was Gilbert. It was Gilbert Gottfried Reed in 50 Shades of Grey. That's the video I was thinking.
Ew.
Oh.
If you can look it up on YouTube, it's like 30 seconds long. It's fantastic.
It's fantastic.
30
Oh,
seconds.
guess
We
I
can
know what I'm
handle
looking
30
up at.
Oh, jeez. There's
I'm
no
sure
hope.
that's interesting.
Oh,
No,
gosh.
But I thought they were a good pairing. I don't know. It's one of those things. It's easy to look back at a movie and be like, "Oh yeah, the casting was so great for that," and I couldn't see anybody else being in it. But honestly, all the main characters in this, I thought that did a great job, and they played off of each other really well. I thought
There was no character that I hated in it that was the comic relief or just had all the stupid lines or anything like that. Every
Yes.
person played their role, they played it seriously, and that was the perfect way to do it. And our villain was just a guy that wanted them to sell the farm. Like that
before
was
they lost everything.
That was the big bit of the movie. Was the
Yeah.
brother-in-law is like, hey, you're gonna be poor and broke, and you're gonna be homeless. Please sell.
Yeah. And whether you agreed with him or not, he was more, he was like, this way you have something out of this. You don't
and he
just
was
go
looking
bankrupt
out.
or go. He wanted them to be able to walk away with something. Anyway, but yeah.
Real quick, let's get to the chat. Thank you, everyone who's joining from a raid. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you all. Our friend Waylon Bucephus is here. Kevin Costner is the worst part of Field of Dreams.
What is wrong with your chat?
Okay,
I love
it's
Kevin
rage bait.
Costner. Come
it's
on.
rage bait. No way. Come on. He's got Clint Eastwood as his profile pic. There's no way he hates Kevin Costner. Come on, people.
You never know.
That's-
you never
I was about to
Maybe
say,
that's
I think
why he
that-
hates them.
Here he goes. He
Never know.
continues. Kevin Costner is the worst part of most movies he's in. All right. It sounds like he's being for real. Oh, man. That sucks.
Hey, we all have our opinions, right?
All right. Jacob Ironside's here. What's up, Jacob? Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
I was going to
Say
make a
hello to
comment, but I'll
everybody.
stop.
You be
About-
nice, Wilkie.
About opinions.
Everyone's oh man, there is war in the chat, people. War
Yeah.
over Kevin Costner. Boica is not happy. Boica is not happy, and I don't blame him. Oh man, you're tearing us up, bro.
What's with the hate with Kevin? Come on.
How does
Nice.
anyone hate Kevin Costner?
He made it
man?
pretty clear.
Come on, American Dream, man. American
Just read the
Dream.
comments. He'll let you
Yeah,
know
he made
why.
it clear. Yeah. Gosh. Oh gosh. All right. So moving on to we're getting close to this is about the 75% waypoint in the film here. So despite all the hiccups with like the financial constraints, as you were saying, the brother-in-law has really been cornering the family into selling the farm or selling the field. And it all makes sense. And he means well by it, but at first he doesn't see the vision until he does. But despite all the hiccups, like I said, the Ghosts, they continue to play. They're having a great time. There's a big team. And now the young Graham, he is also playing alongside all those guys. He fits right in. And it seems like Ray Liotta, he has some sort of familiarity with him because he knows his name already. So I thought that was kind of interesting how he sort of like invites him on the field and he knows who he is already. So I wouldn't mind of like learning more about that. So kind of interesting. But Ray, Terrence, and young Graham, they all can see the players, of course. The brother-in-law, he eventually gets wise to it. But something strange happens, while the whole family's enjoying the plays on the field, and suddenly in the bleachers, Ray's daughter, she collapses, and it's a pretty bad fall, and everyone was pretty concerned about that. So they rushed down there. She looked like she was dead. I mean, she wasn't moving. Ray was freaking out. He wanted to take them to the hospital, and Terrence told them to wait. And no. Ray tells them to wait. And what happens is Graham, he's on the field. He's the young version of himself. Remember, as an older man, he becomes a doctor. And he's like puzzled initially, like, okay, do I intervene here? What's going to happen? So what happens here is he steps out of the field, which is like the no-go zone. And then he turns back into the old version of himself, who is supposed to be dead. Based off of, what we learned earlier in the film, that lady said, it was a lady or a guy that was in the office, said that he was dead. Maybe they were wrong, but they probably weren't. So this old guy, he is now old. He was young here in this moment. And he goes over and he saves her life. She was choking on a hot dog, I guess. And she, she's back to normal. And at this point, this is sort of Graham's moment to pass on. Like this was sort of a big moment for him passing out of the game. He finally got to bat on base with a professional team as he always wanted. And that was his dream. He accomplished his dream, and he was able to kind of have this moment as that final goodbye. So that's what he does. And he's satisfied with what he did, the choice he made. And it's an emotional moment. And he goes into the corn to kind of end his story, leaving that dream that he had behind because he finally accomplished it. And, it's kind of funny that a scene like this, where we don't have that much time with this character, that where it can be so impactful, right? Because this was one of those moments where I was choking up. I really enjoyed this sequence where this happened with this character that, like I said, we just didn't spend very much time following. So how would you consider his final moments, how special they were? Why was it that it was able to be such an impactful scene despite kind of inferior time we spent with him before?
Because he was there to play baseball, live his dream, and then do the right thing and sacrifice, I guess, playing for an attorney with these guys to save a child. It's just perfect in character. And what a great character it is, though, that he was only in the movie for not that long, yet he's so impactful and emotional moments of it.
Yeah, he was a hero in so many different ways.
Yeah. And he got to win, too, without being selfish.
Yeah, it's like you said, it speaks to his character that he knew what the outcome would be, that would end, but he came to peace with what he was able to do, and that he put somebody's life ahead of his life as a doctor, and came out and saved the daughter. But yeah, it was speaking to his character that he put that ahead of his want to be able to keep on playing the game. So
yeah, I feel like it kind of like goes back to how he was as a doctor because of all the things that he did. So it was almost like that was his actual purpose. It wasn't baseball. It was actually all the things that he did for the kids that didn't have the ability to pay for doctors, or what was it, like glasses or something that he would provide for people. So yeah, to me, it was just like that was his actual reason for being there, was to save her.
Like,
and I think he realized that.
Yeah, so getting to play the baseball game didn't bring him the peace. Maybe that brought him the peace to know that that was the right path that he went down with his life, and that was truly what he was meant for. And yeah, it just kind of, that was his peace at that point where he saved her and, said goodbye to the boys and walked on.
I like that thought. I didn't think of it that way. Like, he was there to save her. That was the whole point of everything. Not even to like play the game. That is pretty sad. Like that was, this is his story is interesting because, we keep harking back to a lot of these characters, they had the dream of baseball, right? And, that's like the connection to the field in some regard, right? Like Terrence as well. He had a dream to be a professional baseball player for the New York, I think, Giants, right? But yeah, his character, he was more driven to do that because that's what he did. And, if he had pursued that dream of just being a baseball player, he wouldn't have had nearly the effect he's had now as a doctor. So respect to him, because obviously he made a big impression on the community and he did a lot of great things. So that's a pivotal moment in the movie where that office worker is describing all of the great achievements he had. And obviously they were referring to him in the past tense, not in the present, like he was still alive.
Yeah.
So but I understand how that's confusing because it doesn't make sense. Like, okay, he's dead, but he's passing away again. Here, it's like, okay, and he's young and then he's old. So definitely strange.
Just go with it.
Just go with it, people. Just go with it. I think you're right, Wilkie.
Just suspend your disbelief. It's fine.
Yep.
Gosh. Okay. Interesting. So, like, one character that I think is like iconic with this movie, of course, too, is Shoeless Joe Jackson. He's another one of those characters where he doesn't have that much on-screen presence, but you can't help but to think of him when you think of this movie. So what do you think it is about his character that makes him so valuable to the entire ensemble? Why is he such a valuable addition to the story?
Because he was the first one that was called upon the heavens or the corn or whatever, and then he brought everyone back. He was like almost the leader of the group, it seemed like, and he was the player mostly present with Costner, his character. I don't know. I just felt like he was the one that brought forth everyone and started it all up again, other than Costner.
Well, yeah, they establish him being like an important figure early on, right? Like most of these characters are kind of nameless. You have all of these random players that surface from the distance, right? And like, you know, they have names, but there's not any familiarity with him. But you know, he's tied to the family, the Costner family in this story, and he was a valuable person when he was alive. Like you said, he stood up against the corruption going on, and he was like, he had injustice. I mean, what happened to him was unjust, that he wasn't able to play longer. So I think that just makes him valuable, is that he's a character of true integrity as well. And you know, there's something about Ray Liotta. Like, you look at him, and you know, he has that same sort of charm that Kevin Costner does in here, where you know, you just look at him and you feel hopeful. And I look at him and I see a leader, just like I did. Not exactly like how I did Goodfellas, but I think he just has that sort of presence that garners your attention. Like, you can't help it but to want to see more of him. And I was sad. It's kind of sad, like with this movie, you say goodbye to a lot of actors in a heartfelt way. You say goodbye to Ray Liotta, and you say goodbye to James Earl Jones, and they both have pretty moving exits here, especially James Earl Jones, which we're about to talk about. So, yeah, he's definitely impactful from my experience watching this. Anyone else?
No, I think he summed it up pretty well.
Okay, all right, good.
Yeah,
sweet.
More to add to that.
I see. Oh, Plot Strikes Back. He's trolling us. Is this the movie with the famous line, "Swing away, Meryl"? Ah, gosh. You're killing me, bro.
It's the other one with the cornfield.
You're killing me. I can't take it.
Shots fired.
I can't take it. Maligning. Signs maligning. Oh, man. Gord King here. He's mentioning an interesting movie. I watched Eraserhead recently. Overrated. Oh, man. I was curious about Eraserhead. Oh, okay. Well, that's one I'm curious about. Eraserhead and Elephant Man. Those are two I'm definitely have.
I've actually never seen Eraserhead.
It's a trip.
That's what I heard. I heard
Elephant Man is the one with what's his face? Hannibal Lecter, right?
Yeah,
Anthony Hopkins. Yeah, that's right. Okay,
Hannibal Lecter.
Hannibal Lecter. That's how he's referred to here.
Yes.
That's
the
right.
actor's name.
Formerly known as Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, he's Hannibal Lecter first, Anthony Hopkins second. Oh gosh, that's funny. Okay, well, moving on to the final chapter of this story. Here we are towards the very end of the trip. Before we move on, though, everybody watching, I appreciate you watching. First off, please make sure to check out everybody's channels. Their links are in the description below. It'd be awesome if you subscribe to their channels and check them out. I appreciate all their time, and you know, a lot of these guys have been on many times before, and it's always a pleasure, all of you joining me. So thank you for joining. And if you like what I'm saying here too, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. We'd greatly appreciate it, and hope to see you next week for our next title, which I'll reveal in about 20 minutes. So yeah, but after the game finishes, Shoeless Joe, he does something interesting. He invites Terrence to join him in the fields. And it's like, wow, you know, Kevin Costner, he's like, what goes on in those fields, right? Those are, there's something magical about that. And he's desperate. He's like, these are my fields. Why don't I get the chance to do this? And at first he like steps up and Shoeless Joe, he's like, no, not you. And he points at Terrence, and Terrence kind of knows it's coming. And he gets pretty pissed. Kevin Costner, he's upset about this. And Shoeless Joe, he gives him that such a striking dialogue about how it's not your time yet. And that, you know, you have a family and you have this field to work on. You have more to offer in life, is what he's alluding to. And that was just kind of a really moving, striking moment for me that really stood out towards this, you know, this conclusion here. And we have this really touching this touching end of story for Terrence, you know, following him all the way up until this point. He has now become a totally different person. You know, he's optimistic, he's hopeful, he's embraced compassion here, and he has he's unlocked a side of himself that's been lost over the years, that's been jaded through you know, the media, whatever else, the disappointment and how people treat him and treat his work. And this is his moment to move on. And before he goes off into the cornfield, he says he's going to write about this, and people will come to support you. They will come to see. And he has this, you know, silly moment where he's just kind of playing along in the cornfield, and he's happy, and he's smiling, and he's laughing. And my gosh, you look at that, and you think, wow, we are saying goodbye to James Earl Jones here. And it's sad. It's a really sad moment for, both levels, the story and in real life. And I think when you think back to him as an actor, I can't think of a better send-off in anything than this for him. So yeah, this is the end of his story. He goes off into the corn, and I guess we can consider that heaven or whatever else, but he's gone. He's out of the picture here. And Shoeless Joe, he is now he kind of remarks that the story isn't over yet. You have more to do. If you build it, he will come, he says yet again. And he gestures towards the catcher that's left on the field. And you kind of wonder, okay, who's the catcher over there? And the catcher reveals himself, and it's Ray's father. He's back, and he's in young form. He's in the form that Kevin Costner respected and remembered when he was younger. Throughout the movie, he talks about how his father was old, and he didn't dream, and he didn't live for anything else other than work. And this was the young dad that he remembered and admired. And it's interesting how he connected like old age to that pessimism that he felt later in life, and I don't know if it's exactly age, but it's who the character was. And here we are, and we see him young in this situation. And this was the way he was best remembered. So at first he's pretty stunned, but he introduces family to him, and the two, they share a touching dialogue while walking around the diamond. And right before the film ends, he's taking his final moments for all that it is. And he starts playing ball with his dad, and he calls him Dad. And while this happens in the background, hundreds of cars pile up in the distance as they're all approaching the field to see the show. So definitely a really strong, impactful finale here. I think it'd be kind of fun to go over Terrence's transformation. How would you guys describe his transformation from the first time we saw him to the end point here, where he goes off into this salvation?
Just once he sees it for himself and starts to believe, then he's just a different person for the rest of it, because it just changed him entirely. So, and it's the best way for me to put it.
It's kind of like he gets his hope and his sense of wonder back again. Like he's excited again, and because like I think the whole idea of that is he hasn't written forever, and he was such a big writer, and he's going to go see this unknown and get to take it in. And he almost is acting like a kid for a little bit there. He's a little timid, a little scared, like what is out there, it's like, we'll come and see. And I don't know, he just got that spark back in him.
It's good.
I think it's interesting how, like, okay, so he says he's going to write about this, right? So it's so strange, like if you think about it like further in depth, right? So he's going to write about it, but obviously he's passing into like this heaven. So are all of these people that show up, I guess they're sort of, I don't know, they are controlled by some fantastical force, obviously, because he's not writing about this in reality. So I think like all these people that are going to the field, they have all had like a strange like dream scenario like Kevin Costner did, because obviously they're not coming based on their own will, because he says that like inexplicably people will come and they'll drive from far away. They'll come here and they'll give you $20 without even knowing why. So it's definitely a strange thing he sets up, and he kind of becomes, part of this mystical experience, sort of accepting that. Pretty interesting.
But I think that's why he gets excited about it, because he's saying like they'll come without knowing, kind of like how I did, and they'll get that spark and that joy and the wonder back again, and that love of the game. And they're romanticizing the game of baseball very much so, but that sentiment.
Sure.
Did you know there were about 1,500 cars driving down that road, but they were all flashing their lights to make it look like a lot more.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. I mean, that's a lot. So
I love how online it says only 1,500 cars. It's like, I mean,
yeah, it's a good achievement.
That's it's a lot.
Yeah.
That's all the autographs Kevin Costner had to sign after that.
That sounds great. I would love a Kevin Costner autograph, despite of what Waylon Becerra says. He doesn't like. Oh my gosh, Boica! Our friend Boic is dropping a 20 banger.
Ooh.
That's the biggest super chat I've ever gotten from our friend
Oh,
Boic.
yeah.
A $12.
Yeah, Boca.
Yeah, Boic 462. Nothing in modern Holly weird. Writing, acting, directing has as much impact. No more Me Too. Just good storytelling, acting, direction, and a good movie. Name the last movie that did this in current times. Yeah. Psh. I won't protest at all. I'm not protesting a single point of that. Nothing comes close. It really doesn't. I would love a new American classic, a new story that had this much emotional impact, right? And just a family story too. It could be anything, for Pete's sakes, anything.
But even like this, Ray and Annie, the husband and wife, they're like, I don't know, they played off each other really well. I mean, they kept each other in check, and it wasn't like one was overpowering over the other one. They both questioned things, which is logical with the situations that they had, but then both were very supportive, and when it needed to come to it. So I don't know, it just was, I don't know, it was nice. Not one was just, this is what's happening, overpowering, but they played off each other, and they both had a different spirit to them, and they were a good balance. Anyway,
Yeah, that is sad though, because I'm trying to answer that too. I'm like, okay, a movie that with great acting, right? I keep thinking about Oppenheimer, but it wasn't a happy movie. It wasn't like, oh, I want you to win. He was kind of
Follow
a
your
jerk.
dreams, for Pete's sakes. When is that ever the vision? Follow your dreams, no matter how hard it gets. Vault past your obstacles. Do something good with your life, for Pete's sakes. Gosh, I mean, those are great messages. There just isn't any positive messages in anything. Like positive, uplifting optimism. Where's the optimism? I'd love some optimism. Rental Family had optimism, but that's not like, he's in Japan the whole time. It's the story of, it has everything to do with Japanese culture and the odd behaviors of this weird organization he's part of. It harkens back to a lot of emotional highs and lows, of course, but I want an American story like that. Come on, Kevin Costner. I guess he's trying, right? He tried with the Horizon film, and unfortunately it didn't. That was the setup. He needs to make a few more movies to pay it off. But I mean, that's a big ask for people to invest all that time into it.
I mean, the problem is streaming too, though. Why would I go to a theater when I could just wait a couple months for it to be on at home? I could watch it in my underwear.
Yeah.
That's a sight.
who said
Rebel-
you can't watch a movie in a theater in your underwear?
Your underwear.
Maybe
Your tiny
Sound of
whities.
Freedom.
I'm just joking. I'm joking.
Not optimistic.
Pants stay on in the
I
theater.
guess.
He's an American hero, though. Definitely.
Yeah, but it's not like a happy movie though. Like, Field of Dreams, after you're done watching, it's like such a happy thing. Like, Sound of Freedom, I don't really want to recommend it because I don't want someone to have to watch that and to see the horrors of it.
Man, I'd recommend it though. Like, I think I saw that one. I think 4 times in theaters. I love
I still
that
haven't
one.
seen that one.
I think it might be one of the most chilling opening scenes I've ever seen.
That's the best movie in the last 5 years. I don't think anything comes close. For me, I really love that one. What's his? That main actor did such
Jim
a good.
Caviezel.
Yeah,
Jim
Jim
Caviezel.
Of course. Yeah, he's awesome. Rebel Rose says, "There's no optimism in F1 or Top Gun Maverick." Yes, there is.
I was about to say Top Gun Maverick is ringing my bell the most.
I mean, when
Yeah.
I think of the American films, those two came to mind too. But those are different, though. That it's not
yeah,
stories
you-
of family
Top
or
Gun
anything.
came and gone, I think. It made $1 billion and no one really talks about it.
Yeah,
Are we
but you
talking
walked
about
out of
it?
that one going like, yeah.
Yeah, you're just like America. That's basically what it
America.
is. Yeah.
Exactly.
They also talk about how enlistments into the military jump up after movies like that too. It's kind of funny.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, that was the whole deal of the whole opening scene. That base that they filmed it on is the one that I used to work at.
Oh.
And that is the reason why they didn't have to pay and they got to film in certain places. And it was to boost the morale to enlist, especially into the Navy, obviously, because that's what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was cool to see that. But
I'll
yeah,
have
I
to-
love Top Gun Maverick.
It's not the
Classic.
Navy, but I'll have to ask my son if it was any sway on him. He went into the Air Force. So
Dang.
Good old
Cool.
Air Force. Well, I
Yeah,
mean, it
sweet.
could because he's flying jets.
Never know. Well, he's not. But
Well, no, I'm not saying me.
he's working
him,
with
but
people.
yeah.
Nice. Like, just a few more questions about the film before we wrap up. You know, I think this movie and all of these like wonderful events, they well, actually, before I mention this, I want to say a big thank you again to Boica. I appreciate all your support, man. Really nice. $20 here. You're awesome. You're always awesome. So.
Even add up. This isn't his first one tonight.
No,
either.
yeah, we really appreciate you, Boica. You keep the lights on, so thanks. And Procfile today, we appreciate the super chat. So, big thank you to you, man. That's awesome. That made my day. That's real cool, and it looks nice and orange on the screen, so that's nice. But yeah, so obviously, Field of Dreams, like all of these wonderful events, they impacted quite a few different characters. But you know, it seemed like all of these moments lended to the one reveal, of course, that the father is present because all of this happened. So was the entire experience of all of these events unfolding developed for the reconciliation of Ray and his father? Is that it? Like the main thing?
No, maybe it was just a
No.
really nice gift at the end of it. I think everyone else getting their dreams is what brought it all together at the end. It's like, you know what, you're gonna get that moment with your father too at the end.
I like to think of it more that way too.
I feel like that was the end game. That was the point. That was what was supposed to happen. But the main purpose was bringing everyone together and, you know, having everyone relive their days. But they wanted whoever was speaking up their end game was to have that reconciliation with his father. I think that's just my opinion.
Well, like some of the messages that were heard this whole time. So if you build it, he will come. And then there's ease his pain. And then go the distance. Don't those all like apply to him more than anything else?
Yeah,
Possibly.
I feel like ease's pain was meant for the father, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
because he
yeah.
was.
But almost could apply to multiple
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
But I could see that with the dad because they just had that falling out in their relationship and never had that chance to
and he regrets all that. Yeah.
to mend that. And I think you know both of them had lots of regrets and pain from it.
Yeah. Well, do you remember that scene when they finished the field and him and Amy Madigan are just laying there like having like a picnic or something, and he's telling her a story about his dad, and she's just like, "Wow, this is the first time I've ever seen you smile talking about your dad." So to me, it was like a nice little, like they wrapped it with a nice little bow on top by giving him that scene with his dad at the end.
That's interesting. Yeah, I thought the whole thing, like, I preferred it being the way you guys are saying, but I was kind of concerned by the end, thinking like, okay, was all this really just for dad, like for dad to come back? Because I mean, it's on his cornfield, and all of this was orchestrated with him as the driving force for all of these things happening, right? So, I mean, that tie makes more sense than bringing anybody else on board.
But I think there's so many of them that did have pain eased through this whole thing, you know, like,
Yeah.
so right here in this picture, both father and son, I think had pain from, you know, how things ended between them without being able to mend things. So both of them had pain eased. You had the whole, you know, Shoeless Joe Jackson, you had Dr. Graham, you had, there's a lot of them. So maybe it's just more of a universal where it's more than just you. There's a lot of people that are going through stuff. And this was something that helped ease the pain of a lot of them.
It's kind of like, it feels like it's whoever came to that field, it was like it helped them heal the wound that was getting them cutting them the deepest, which obviously with Kevin Costner, it was him and his dad. And then it just brought him and his wife and his daughter closer. And honestly, probably at the end, if they would have just continued it and just wrap it, I think that he would have been, not that he was a bad dad, I think that he was just going to be an even better father now. You know what I mean? Because he finally got that ending with his dad that he should have had.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, yeah, I kind of wondered. I wondered, you know, what, how deep this goes. You know, like, is there somehow where the young father here his life changes. Like if there's this is so like drawn out, like this is crazy thought, but maybe in this world where this young dad who's playing baseball here, he is now maybe reconciling with his son here. Maybe he'll be a better father in his own reality, which is like crazy. Who knows? But
probably.
Yeah. What's funny is, with the actress who plays Kevin Costner's wife, she's definitely one of those recognizable faces. It is insane to think that she is Aunt Gladys in Weapons.
Wow.
Yes, good old Aunt Gladys.
You didn't know that, World Joe?
I did not know that. No.
And she's an Uncle Buck too. She's Shanice. It's Uncle John Candy's girlfriend in that movie.
Wow.
She had a pretty good career.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. That's pretty weird. Like, look at her and then think of Aunt Gladys in Weapons. It's crazy.
Yeah. She's a little more attractive in that picture right here that we have on our screen than Aunt Gladys.
I don't know about that.
I think it's up to debates.
Yeah, I
don't know. When she takes that wig off, it's real nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Gosh.
Definitely. Oh, that's cool. Well, I think, real quick, Boica again from 199. He's talking to you, Wilkie. Corey. I am an Air Force veteran, 20 years.
Yeah, thanks,
Hell
man.
yeah, thanks for your service, Boica.
Appreciate it, man. No, I was, we were talking back and forth. Yeah, I was saying because my son's currently in there. So, no, that's very cool, Boica.
Nice.
I appreciate it, man.
Sweet. I like this. She hasn't aged well. She does look like this, though. I mean, she looks like an older version of that.
Respect for her.
She's not very good looking here. I mean,
easy.
Whoa.
Okay.
Wow.
My bad. Should I not have said
that? Come on now.
Yeah. Oh no! Don't hurt me, please.
No, you're fine.
Gosh. Okay.
Oh, is she really Rebel Rose? She's married to Ed Harris.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
That's a weird partnership.
No, that's awesome. I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
Cool.
they've been together forever too.
That's awesome. That's even cooler to hear when they're both like in the business and they stay together for a long time. Or
They
whatever.
kind of look similar.
What?
That's it. They look kind of similar. Like pair their heads.
What's something else rude you can say about her appearance? Like, could we like think of one? And her eyebrows are too pointy. No.
Yeah, Kevin Costner has a better chest than she does.
Wow.
Kevin Costner's ass.
Wow,
that
word,
Joe,
you said
Compared to her
Wow.
flapjacks.
Oh,
Wow.
that's tough.
Wow.
Oh my god. That's
So, Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams. Let's get back to the subject. So you guys recommend Field of Dreams. What are your final thoughts about the movie? Encouraging or dissuading people from seeing the movie?
It was very comforting. It was a feel good film. I feel like it. It was a great message, great impact, and I highly recommend it.
Yeah, great. What about you guys?
Fantastic.
Final thoughts?
Fantastic movie. It's kind of weird that the director and writer kind of did nothing after this. I was looking it up today. They did a fantastic movie, high praise for it, and then just dropped off the face of the earth and did nothing.
That was smart.
I guess go out on a high note, kind of.
Because I think it did well, I think, too.
I'm pretty sure it did.
I thought it did all right. So that is interesting.
Yeah.
Where they just kind of like, nope, I'm done.
Yeah, I made a fantastic movie with Kevin Costner, heartfelt, beautiful show not tell, great soundtrack and everything. I guess I'll just do nothing.
How am I going to top that? We'll just quit right there. Well, their one movie with that is more than I did with movies. So that's pretty cool.
Nice. All right. Real quick. I see Boca here. They have more wrinkles than a bull sack. Nice. The Utah twang.
You
That's
you gotta
good.
give them credit though. They didn't do the whole Hollywood thing. They just
No,
aged.
that's good.
You know,
That's good.
Yeah, go with it.
normally aged.
Just
Rebel
be
Rose, she's
be
defending.
natural.
She's defending him. They're in their 70s and 80s. What do you want?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope I'm still around in my
I don't
70s and 80s. I'll just say that.
You're not there now.
I need you as long as possible.
As long as possible. We'll see how much every year. We'll see how much more white
that's
comes
good,
in.
the
whenever we
stress.
do.
We'll stress you out enough to maybe, hopefully, not cut down any years. Gosh. All right. Well, I think the consensus is yes, everybody. Field of Dreams is
Oh,
a
yeah.
number one must see. Would you guys, real quick before we go, is that Kevin Costner's best film? Field of Dreams.
No.
No.
Wow. Okay, what's the best?
Somebody else talk first. I'm talking too much, I think.
No,
Superman.
you're not. You're good. Superman.
Yeah,
Hey,
Oh.
No.
I don't like the hate on him and Superman. I thought he was
No.
great.
Yeah, he did great. He did great, Man of Steel, but no, that's definitely not his best. He wasn't in there long enough.
No.
But no, I don't have anything specific.
Mine's
Earp.
Wyatt Earp. I love
Yeah,
Wyatt Earp the
It's
most. You,
gotta be
know?
up there. It's a lot more character driven than Tombstone, I think.
You too, Ashley?
No, I like Robin Hood.
Oh, that's
That's
one
a
I
good
gotta
one.
see.
I do like the
Yeah.
Robin Hood one. That was like, I think I watched that more than any of his films when I was a kid, because he's not like somebody I like seek out. But if he's in it, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure,
oh, it's
yeah.
Kevin Costner. But I
Uh-huh.
really like his Robin Hood
Mm.
movie.
Okay.
I'd like to change mine to Open Range instead.
I saw they were talking about that in the chat earlier.
Yeah, Open Range is a badass movie.
Man, all right.
So that was actually going to be the one I was going to say. So
Yeah.
it's all right. That's all right.
You can say that.
I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
a
No,
core memory watching that with my dad.
Oh,
Awesome.
nice.
but I will say too that is a comfort. It's kind of maybe a weird comfort movie, but I can just go back and put that on and sit and watch it. But it's a favorite of mine. I know some friends I've recommended it to, and they're like, "Oh, it's boring," but okay, it's all right. It's not for everybody, but it's shot beautifully, beautiful country, cinematography, and I don't know. I'm a sucker for a good old Western, and I thought that
Hell yeah.
felt like it went back to that. So,
All right, cool.
as you express your excitement for our comments on
Just
this,
crapping on most of our old loves back then, and now this.
Oh my gosh.
I already
Doesn't have
forgot
anything to
her
do with you, man. Doesn't have anything to do with you. That's good.
sure. It's not you, it's me.
You don't ever
Is that what
bore
you're
me,
saying?
Wilkie. Yeah, it's not you, it's me, Wilkie.
Yep.
It's over. It's over. No, but yeah, thank you all for watching tonight. I hope you all had a good time enjoying the stream. If you haven't, like I said, if you could check out everybody's channels here, Wilkie, World War Joe, and Ashley, Zombie Girl, check them out. Links are in the description below. It wouldn't hurt. You know, you might find your favorite channel, as Wilkie says. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't cost you anything to give them a sub. So definitely be great if you could support them. And Luke, obviously here, Gally-Ardo. Check him out as well. Always good having you on, buddy.
I have a video
And-
coming up soon.
Oh, a video
It's
from
not-
Luke, everybody.
Yeah, no movie review, but it's a video.
Video is content. That's
Nice.
good. Be sure to check that out, everyone. And for next week, Megan's going to be joining, and panel is awaiting. We're talking about American Werewolf in London.
Oh, nice.
Stay tuned. That should be
Nice.
good. There's a convention in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's called Horror Hound. I've been a few times. And two of the main actors from that are going to be there. So I thought, well, might as well see it. So I'm excited to see that. Haven't seen it before. Have you seen it before, Luke?
Mm-mm.
American Werewolf in London? No? Okay. Very curious about that one.
Oh wait,
Interesting.
is that the with the fantastic transformation?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I've seen that a couple Halloweens
Okay.
ago.
All right. Good. You'll add some interesting
Oh, yeah.
information for that. But yeah, thank you all for watching. We always appreciate you. And always remember, give him the Duke and give him the dog. We'll see you next Tuesday.
What kind of person are you? Are you the kind that sees signs, sees miracles? Or do you believe that people just get lucky?